Ches Halacha Yud Hilchos Lulav. Ein on Yotze v'Yontev Rishon Shel Chai V'Lulav Shel Haveroi. A person cannot fulfill the mitzvah on the first day of Yontev of taking the four species with that of his friend Shalenu Mimenu, that he should borrow it. So without the Peirush, Ad Sheyitnenu Levi Matona, until his friend will give it to him as a present. So the first day it says, Ulekachtem Lochem, you shall take to yourselves. And the Darash in Sukkah 29b is from your own item. And Lulav, this is his friend's Lulav. Also, if he gives him a condition, if he gave it to him on condition that he should return it to him, because at the moment he has it, it's his. And that a present that's given on condition to be returned is called yours at the time. However, obviously, if you didn't give it back, then you haven't fulfilled your obligation. We'd find that it would be like stolen. The Mishnah cite the Mishnah in Sukkah 41b. A person cannot fulfill a Yontev Rishon, the mitzvah with the lulav of his friend. These are all the four species we're talking about. In the other days, he can't fulfill his obligation with a borrowed esrog and lulav. The Gemara answers that the first day you cannot borrow or use a stolen esrog, until his friend will give it to him as a matona. And if he tells him, here's the esrog matona on a condition that you return it, if he gave it back, it's yotza. If he didn't give it back, he's not yotza. Rabbeinu points out from what it says that he shouldn't say to his friend, give me your lulav. That if he takes it with borrowing, he's not yotza. He has to say, pain legal. He has to say, give it to me, present it to me as a present. Rambam explains that it's nimtza ki gozel. It's like being stolen. Since he didn't give it back to him, therefore we see to begin with that he took it without permission. Because Maimonides brings to the smag that somebody gives a matona on condition to be returned, you should be careful with four things. First of all, to give it back, and to say, you should give it back to me. It's a matona, if not. And that means the positive before the negative, and it's in the condition before you to give it, and it has to be possible to accomplish. Like those Maimonides pushes him off. No, if you won't keep the Tanai, and all of these, certainly the matona is a good matona. The Tanai is a bottle. Therefore, even if he won't give it back, he's yotze, because it doesn't have a din Tanai. But if he made a Tanai kechol mishpotov, then he has to give it back. And if he didn't give it back, he's not yotze. So the question is only, Rambam explains, the only beginning is like kaful, but not by other things. So then it would take effect even just by saying, so the nafkamina here would be, if somebody didn't return it, whether he would fulfill the obligation. Why wouldn't he return it? Because he passed away. Hamei tells us, even if there wasn't a Tanai kaful, you have to keep it. Because everyone says namanas, like he says from now. Ma'achshav, you don't need a Tanai kaful. Because you need a Tanai kaful only, he says, if you do so and so. So the Gemara is medayik, you don't rely on the taking of the lulav in the heart of the thoughts. He has to give it to matona, but he didn't say sheyitnenu stam. He has to say matona befeirush, Yerushalmi. He has to give it with complete concept. I'm giving it to you. We can only know this if a person says so specifically. The Mishnah in 42b says, we teach him to say, whoever will get the lulav, it's his matana, and we need this Amir Dafka, because what used to happen is they used to give it to the whole city, so each person would give it a matana manas la'achzir to the original guy back. Shulchan Aruch in 658 Haskins, a person has yet to be rishon b'lulav of saveroi, when his friend gave it to him, that you need it to be your own, and even if he says that it should be yours until you fulfill your obligation, and afterwards it should be mine, he's not yotze, because it would be like borrowed. And he gave it with a matana mutter. He gave it to him as a matana, it's mutter. If he gave it to him, I'm going to ask to give it back. He's yotze boy machziroi. He's fulfilled his obligation, he can return it. Matana, I'm going to ask la'achzir shema matana, because the matana, which is done on condition to be given back, is a matana. If he didn't give it back, lo yotzo, he did not fulfill his obligation. Afilu nosen like domov, even if he gave him back his money, afilu noenos miyodoi, even if it was accidentally taken from his hands. If he gave it to him later, after you can no longer fulfill your obligation, mitzvah, lo yotzo. Mishnah cites in poskim that brings poskim or explain. A person says this object is given to you. The owner is no longer the owner of it. And what he says, I'm an aser tatzeli, when he says on condition to give it back, it's only a condition like other conditions that you can do by sales and by presents. And if you won't give it back, or if it became postal in the hands of the person who used it, he didn't fulfill his obligation, because the intent was he should give it back the way it was given to him. The Mechaber continues, if he gave it to him without saying anything, it's understood that it's amanas, on condition, because that's the idea of the person. Since he needs to be yotze boy, he doesn't have another one, and if he won't give it back to him, he won't be fulfill his obligation. So Mo adds, and he has to give to the Baal of Matona, should be back to the Baiman. So the Mechaber adds, however, even if he didn't give it back to him, but he gave it to another one, the Achron gave it back, he's Yotze, because the main idea is that it should be get back to being coming back to the owner. The cotton. You don't give it to cotton on the first day. You got cotton koina. Cotton can acquire the eina makne. You cannot give to lachem to others when not to. Therefore, it will be obvious she'im hirsil le'eina choyze. If you gave it back, I mean, it's not considered giving back. Both the lulav and any other of the four species, if one of them was borrowed, you're not yotze boy b'yom tevarishan. You don't fulfill your obligation yom tevarishan. Because the Mishnah explains that even when he gives them to a minor, on condition to return it, the cotton acquires it. Because every tanai that you cannot accomplish it at the end, and you made it to the condition, the tanai is the condition becomes nullified, and the action is applicable. It takes effect. And the matanas is a complete present. And the cotton cannot give it back. And besides, from the Maran, we're talking about a cotton that did not come to the position of being what? Understanding. What does this mean regarding Kenyan? Rae Gann explains in the Mishnah in Gittin 64b. Cotton that is intelligent, if you give him something, in other words, you can comprehend. If you give him a stone, he throws it away, and when you give him a walnut, he keeps it. He can acquire for himself, but not for others. And he cites the Ran that you shouldn't give a lulav to cotton only if he didn't come to the position of knowing what has value or what doesn't. That's about the 6 for a child who is a sharp boy, or 7 if he's a normal child. Once he comes to that position, he can give it back in return, like in Begittin. In the case of Mishnah, the question is why the poskim don't mention Divrei Haran as the facts of Halacha. Later Mishnah questions why people question this, because the Rambam's of the opinion that you can't even give it to a child that's knowledgeable, who's a puat, because he acquires Minat Torah if one gives it to him, as the Maggid Mishnah says in Hilchos Sukkah. That's the opinion of the Rambam. The Mishnah explains, according to the Rambam, even though he's a kotten and he's knowledgeable, he acquires the Torah, but he doesn't have enough intelligence to give it back. There's 2 aspects to acquiring: the giver and the taker. And the taker, as a taker, he has enough knowledge to take, but he doesn't have enough knowledge to give. And therefore, you shouldn't give a lulav to a child on the first day. Not like Rashi and the Ram, he acquires. Therefore, when he gives back, the Chacham would give him the same ability to give back. The poskim don't mention the Ran according to the Mishnah because the Rambam disagrees. Rae Gann says, we're talking here with a kohen who knows how to shake the lulav. He's obligated, like in Perek Zayin of Halacha Yutes. And since he knows how to do it, how to shake the lulav, it's considered that he's knowledgeable, and he acquires himself, but he cannot return it to others according to the Rambam. But he didn't come to that age level. It's not a problem to give him a lulav because he doesn't really acquire it. And he points out in Hilchos Sukkah and that there, when a person, where Rambam explains how a person acquires and gets presents, items, there he explains his words. The Shulchan Aruch says the halacha is you shouldn't give it on the first day of cotton before he was yotze, because the cotton acquires and he does not give to others Minat Torah. If he gave it back, it's not called returned. There are those that say that if he got to the position of Pu'utas, you can do so. If he grabs it if he grabs it with the child, it's fine. If he's holding it with the child, then he's not giving it to him. But Meshay's right, from the Lashon HaRambam, he said, it doesn't clarify. It would seem that even if he came to be understandable, you shouldn't give it to him, because in Hilchos Mechira he's of the opinion that if there's somebody who has knowledge, gives it to you, he acquires Minat Torah. And therefore, even if he became to where he's knowledgeable, the Chacham said that he can give him matana. Since Minat Torah is not a matana, therefore, the Chacham says you shouldn't give it to him because if it's not Minat Torah, the kinyan is not a Torah the kinyan. You know, you fulfill your obligation, maybe with the Rabbanon. The Ran permits to put a minim to a cotton to give it to them who came to be to the period of growth of a poor, that he feels the fact that he receives it is on min Rabbanon, therefore he can give it back. And therefore Minat Torah is his. The Halacha says it's posture that this is noig in all these. This applies to all the 4 species, and it's also simple to understand that you shouldn't give it to a cotton. A cotton is till the point of 13 years and 1 day, the more stringent opinion. The Gam also, somebody who's 13 years old and 1 day, he doesn't know that if you're not sure that he has pubic hairs, therefore you shouldn't give it to him because the subject derives l'chumra, and it could be that he cannot give it back. The Shuvas Savseva permits l'chatchila to give it to a cotton even though we don't know if he has his body's maturing, because there's a double question. First of all, maybe you can even give it to a younger child. Even if not, maybe he is bar mitzvah already.